All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Unit Eagle Eye, coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is a slightly belated review of the Arsenal versus West Ham game. And I'm kind of glad, actually, that I didn't do it straight away, judging by all the comments and tweets. Interesting tweets, even from friends of the show that I've had. And I'm going to address all of that, believe me. And I figured if I'm going to do it, I'm going to need some help. So I've also invited my boy Lee on the show. So say hello to the people, Lee.
How's everyone doing? Hope you're all having a great bank holiday weekend. Anyone that's been to Carnival, yeah, big up yourself, man. Seriously, I've seen some of the videos. Jesus Christ, bro, shit gets deep. Yeah, like I've seen Notes. You know the rapper Notes. I've seen I've seen on his Instagram he's been cuffed up by coppers. Yeah, and he's got Notes goes, "Get your dirty hands off of me" to the copper. The copper goes, "Why are you being racist?"
What the fuck? Okay.
What you calling my hands dirty? Well, that's racist. Like seriously, man, fucking mate. I've never been to Carnival. Yeah, I love that music. I love all that music. Yeah. And big up anyone who goes to it, right? But mate, I couldn't go there, man. Like, it's just too messy. It's too messy. I'm too old for that shit.
That's what it is. It's just too much. It's too much drama. I've not been to the carnival in about 10 years. Just because the last time I went, about 3 people got stabbed. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm too old for this shit. And that was 10 years ago. Like that.
I just like a chilled life, man. Chilled one. I'm at home. I'm chilling. You know, a couple of beers, bit of FIFA, chilled. Yeah, I'm not working tomorrow. It's just cool, man. It's all calm in my house. My missus went to SW4 today, innit?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, she went to that. Like, fucking just a mud fest. Like, because it's pissing down, innit?
Yeah.
But do you know what? I'm a bit gutted. I never went, right? Because there's a geezer there called Nath Smalls, right? Not many people know about this dude, yeah? But this guy is fucking sick. Yeah, and he was playing live today. No, he was rapping live today. Check out Nath Small's Fire in the Booth. Best fire in the booth ever. I'm telling you.
The name sounds familiar, and I can't think why. You better talk to me. What's that?
Yeah, I think I've told you. I think I sent you the Fire in the Booth.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's sick, man. Unbelievable flow, man. The geezer's sick.
Okay. Well, let's get into this flipping game, man. So I'm going to talk about my little beefs that I've had over the past, so we say 12 hours. But before we go into it, let's talk about someone else's beef, and that is Mesut Ozil. I figured you'd be the best person. You'd be such a glorious fan of it. What are you making of all this mess? I mean, supposedly, according to reports that kind of broke after the game, he's had some sort of bust up with Emery about being dropped or some shit, and what are you making of it?
Well, after the Man City game, Emery came out and the media spun it a little bit and they stuck it on Ozil. Yeah, but what Emery actually said was the whole squad, because they asked him about Ozil and he said, well, the whole squad need to work a lot harder. But what the media done, all these journos, which is what they do, is they spun it a little bit and stuck it as Emery said Ozil needs to work harder, which I didn't like, to be honest. And listen, I don't rate the geezer. I never have, like, for a long time now, like 2 years now. I've not rated him, right? But what they did was a little bit naughty. They spun it just on him, whereas when Emery said the whole team, right?
Yeah.
Now, the very next game, we play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. He substitutes him after 67, 68 minutes, whatever it was, right? Then he's not in the squad yesterday. I see on Twitter and, like, you know, you've seen it, everyone's seen it, he's ill, right? Mate, seriously, this geezer has more fucking illnesses, right, than any person I've ever met in my life, right? How many days off work have you missed due to illness? Seriously, in the last 2 years?
I don't even think one.
Exactly.
I'm on
Same.
death's door. I got to be on death's door. I don't think even one. Because I have the option of working from home as well. So
see, the only way I'd not go to work is if I've got, like, I have the needle shit, yeah? Like, that's the only way I wouldn't go to work, because I walk around and I'm, like, doing my thing outside, yeah? So I can't have the shits, bruv, right? But anything else, if I got a cold, like headache, whatever, I'm going to work, right?
Yeah.
He's had like, I think he's missed 8 games in the last 18 months or whatever due to illness, right? So anyway, we play the game, we win the game, I come out the ground, I then get a signal, I go on Twitter, and I see that like all the reports, like all the ESPN, the Daily Mirror, the Guardian, all the like newspapers and media outlets, yeah, are saying he had a bust up with Emery, and that's why he's not in the squad. Right. So obviously after the game, I did my thing with Robbie, and Robbie, like, I was talking to him about it, and like my take on it is, right, I don't buy into this illness. Like, whether that's true or not, who knows, right? But Unai Emery, a direct quote I see, somebody tweeted it, a direct quote from Unai Emery in the post-match press conference. His words, and I quote, yeah, were, Mesut Ozil was ill, so we sent him home from training. He's here today because he feels better, but he's not here right now because he was ill yesterday. Which is a fucking riddle. What's the answer?
Yeah.
Is the answer 10? Is the answer M10? Like, come on, man. What? He went home from training because he's ill. He's here today because he feels better, but he's not here right now because he was ill yesterday. The answer's 10. Like, come on, man. Was he at the game yesterday? Who knows? Like, I haven't seen any pictures or any footage of him at the game. I was fortunate enough to be in the underground car park after the game. I never see his car. Normally, his cousin drives the little wagon, like the Mercedes wagon that he drives. Never see that. So whether he was at the game or not, I don't know. Whether he had a bust up or not, I don't know. But one thing I will say is the fact that Emery's called the whole squad out after City for needing to work harder, right? The very next game, he substitutes Mesut Ozil in the 68th minute. When was the last time that happened? Probably under Jose Mourinho at Real Madrid, right? Because he would normally play 90 minutes under Wenger, right? And now he's not starting again, and he's not even in the squad against West Ham. So read into it what you will. I'm looking at it and saying that maybe it's something Ozil didn't want to do in the training side of it, on the training pitch. Maybe he was being dropped. Maybe he was going to be on the bench. Who knows? But personally, listen, we can all take it with a pinch of salt. We know these journalists chat shit, yeah? I just proved that a minute ago with what they said about digging Ozil out as opposed to what Emery actually said. But it just seems a little bit weird that he's dug out the whole squad, took Ozil out in the next game, and then he's dropped him from the whole squad. And then apparently there's a bust up, but he's ill. So I look at it and I just think, well, if that is the case, and they've had a massive row, there's two ways you can look at it. Ozil could be pissed off that he was being dropped, if that is the case, which to me shows he gives a fuck, because he's rowing that he wants to start the game. And Emery's saying, well, you're not doing what I want you to do. But then Ozil was putting his point across. So you could look at it and go, well, actually, Ozil does give a shit. But then the other side of that, on the flip side, you could go, well, Emery sussed him out inside 2 games that he ain't doing what's required, and he's being dropped for somebody who will do what's required. Yeah. And I've seen people say that, we missed his creativity yesterday. No, we didn't. We created a lot of chances. They were. I didn't see the stats. I haven't seen the stats from yesterday's game, right? And let's be real, we got fucking lucky, right? But we did create a lot of chances. And Fabianski turned into a fucking prime fucking Jens Lehmann, man. Like, or Oliver Kahn or someone like that. Mate, that's them saves he made, man. That one low down to the right, where he just tipped it around the park. I think it was Ramsey. Yeah, mate, what a save. Right? And I was right behind that.
Amanda had the best tweet for that. She was like, she went, everyone was clapping Fabianski on. I weren't.
No, I didn't either. I didn't cheer Jack either. I didn't cheer Jack. I didn't cheer Perez. Listen, when we played Chelsea last week, Giroud was warming up, and everyone in the crowd singing, nah, nah. I was like, what are you lot doing? He plays for them, and he's warming up to come on to score against us. Like, Seriously, why would you cheer him? Yeah, he's done. He's gone. Whether you rate him or not, whether you respect what he done for us or not, he's playing for fucking Chelsea and Jack's playing for West Ham. So fuck off, man.
Yeah.
Like, even when the names were called out at the beginning, I never cheered Jack. And I love Jack, man. You know that. Yeah, and anyone who watches this regular knows I love Jack, yeah? But, nah, man, fuck that. He plays for the opposition. But just to finish up on Ozil, listen, we'll see if he's in the squad for Cardiff. Like, let's all remember here, the transfer window outside of the UK is open until the 31st of August.
So that brings me on to Ben's question. So Ben in the chat room asked, would you sell Ozil if you could? Bearing in mind the transfer window is still open.
Mate, I would have sold him 2 years ago. But let's be real. Wenger is, with a parting shot, gone, there you go. Have 350 grand a week. Fuck you. Yeah? Because now we're done with him, right? And listen, people get on my case and go, you don't know what you're talking, you don't understand football if you don't rate Mesut, yeah? No, maybe I do, and that's why I don't rate him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's been given 350 grand a week off of the back of us finishing 6th, him playing shit all season, and he's doubled his wages and more. Now we've got Aaron Ramsey sitting there haggling because he's looking at it going, well, hang on a minute. Ozil's worth 350. Well, I'm worth 250, surely.
Well, that's the thing. So
I'm saying,
I remember when Ozil signed that contract, and a couple of weeks later, there was a story about Aaron Ramsey being really annoyed that Ozil has that level of contract. And that I remember a story coming out and him saying that, oh, he was going to be really trying to haggle for somewhere close to his level. And I remember mentioning it on this channel, and people were like, oh, Aaron ain't like this. Trust me, he'll sign before the end of the season. All right, cool. We're into the following season. The motherfucker still isn't close to signing a contract. What are you saying?
Exactly. And this is the thing, Chris, right? Is the fact that, let's be real, right? I've said this to you before, yeah? Right? And people mug me off. And I've had so many debates with people, right? Aaron Ramsey's been at Arsenal for 10 years, just over 10 years, right? In that 10 years, he's had a horrific leg break at Stoke, right? He's bounced back from that. He's had an unbelievable half of a season where he was just pinging goals in. I'll never forget that goal he scored against Liverpool, where it just dropped and he just volleyed it straight in the top left corner. He just let it come across. What a goal, right? He then got injured, and at that point of the season, he was probably the best player in the Premier League. Yeah, let's have that right. He probably was, right? He then gets injured. I think that was December time, November, December, whenever it was, right? He comes back, scores the winning goal in a cup final against Hull City that we were losing 2-0, right? Sonogo was involved in the goal, by the way. My man Sonogo. scores a hat-trick in the Emirates Cup and trips over. I'll never forget that either. Yeah, right? But he ended our 9-year trophy drought, right? By scoring the winning goal in that cup final. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget him running along and doing that celebration like Charlie George, yeah? I'll never forget that, right? A few years later, fast forward, he's not really done fuck all in the league. He's been injured a lot. Yeah, Jack Wilshere in the last 2 seasons has played more games than him, right? But then we go into a cup final against the reigning champions who have just won the league with a record-breaking amount of wins with Chelsea. We get to Wembley, everyone's like, we're going to get fucked. We are going to get fucked. Diego Costa is going to rip us, right? We batter them. Absolutely batter him. And he pops up and scores the winning fucking goal. So now that's 2 cup final winning goals that geezer has scored, right? So for me, which people can't quite grasp, right? For me, that is a club legend. Yeah? You look at the guy, I can't remember his name, the ginger hair fellow who scored the winner against Man City for Wigan in the cup final. Can't remember his name. Was it Watson? Not Watson. Is it Ben Watson?
No, it's not Watson. It's
whatever his name is.
Cameron, what's out with that one?
Right, whatever his name is, that geezer is in folklore with Wigan for the rest of his fucking life, and even after he's gone. Yeah, Aaron Ramsey in 30 years' time, you'll be watching it on TV. FA Cup Classics, my man's on TV. Yeah, like legend. But because he still plays for Arsenal and because he's been pretty fucking average other than half a good season, people go, well, no, that ain't the club legend. We laud club legends for scoring one cup final winning goal. Aaron Ramsey's done it twice, right? But...
By the way, the chat room do say it's Ben Watson, by the way.
It is, but see, I know what I'm talking about. And people say I don't know shit about football.
Occasionally.
Yeah, see, I got there in the end, right? But on the flip side of that, does he deserve and does he warrant, based on the half a good season and based on 2 cup final winning goals, which will go down in history forever, we can't erase that, does he deserve over or in excess of 250 grand a week? No fucking way. No fucking way. And if he left, would I give a fuck? Nah, I wouldn't. But I'm not completely deluded to erase the 2 cup final winning goals and go, do you know what? Respect that. Yeah, you deserve to be hailed as a fucking hero. But he ain't worth 250 grand a week. He ain't worth 100 grand a week, in my opinion. And the fact that he's haggling, which is how we're seeing it, that, you know, he obviously hasn't signed for a reason. That reason's money, mate. Let's be real. It's money. Because 9 times out of 10, if he's fit, he's starting. Right? So what's the issue? It's money. Right? Now, he's obviously haggling for more money, or his agent's doing the job for him, whatever. The club is saying, well, we can't really go that far, blah, 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 blah. Right? He ain't worth that. He ain't worth more than what he's on now because he's done fuck all other than them 2 winners.
I'll tell you what, Marbles TV has just said it.
Shout out to Marbles TV as well. Yeah. Nice lad.
Good guy, that. Good guy. This is why I agree with this. This is why I don't see him as a club legend. He says that Henry, Wright, Bergkamp, Adams, Sanson, Seaman all did it consistently. Ramsey hasn't. He scored a legendary goal, but does that legendary goal give him legendary status? I don't think so.
Yes, it does. And I'll tell you why, right? Everybody remembers Alan Sunderland's goal. Everyone remembers that. Yeah? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this geezer's done it twice, mate. Right? Now, how many players in their career play in a cup final? An FA Cup final. And let's have it right. The FA Cup is the oldest football competition in the world. Right? Cup competition in the world, right? It's the most prestigious. Even though Sky Sports have come along, Europa League, Champions League and Premier League, and they've totally diminished that, and fans now look and go, well, Champions League's the be-all and end-all. Even our ex-manager said top 4s are more of a priority than winning the FA Cup. Yeah? But then when shit come on top, he decided to win it again. Do you know what I'm saying? He won it for fucking years and years, and then it was like, oh, now let's get the money. Oh, fuck, I'm under pressure. Let's win it again. Right? But for me, and I'm 36 years old, right? So a lot of younger people that are like, I don't know, 10, 15 years younger than me won't have seen the FA Cup the way I see it. They'll look at it and go, well, you know, we've grown up in the Sky Sports era, right? Yeah. I've grown up watching the FA Cup for fucking years and years and years, yeah? And, you know, I'll never forget when Arsenal won the Cup double in 93. Do you know what I mean? It's like Steve Morrow in the, you know, fucking scoring that goal. I'll never forget that. And the Cups to me are just as important as winning a league title. Obviously, the league's the bread and butter, but a day out at Wembley, mate, I'll never forget going to Wembley that day against Chelsea. Their fans were so cocky, bruv, yeah? They were so cocky. They were driving an open top fucking bus round, yeah? Fucking throwing celery off of it, giving it celery, yeah? Fucking round the Arsenal fan park, yeah? Fuck you, motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? They were so cocky, mate. Yeah, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that day at Wembley. You know, I'll never forget the day out at Cardiff when we went there, like, and we won it, yeah? But listen, the FA Cup to me, being younger, it was a big thing. It was like a massive family day. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone, even if you didn't give a shit about football, it's the FA Cup final. Yeah. Now everyone's just like, oh yeah, whatever. It's just a shit cup, and that's because money has killed the prestige of that trophy and the League Cup as well. To like, the League Cup's worthless to everyone now. Let's be real. Any Premier League team don't give a fuck. Even Championship teams put reserve teams out in that competition because the money for winning it is peanuts compared to the money for getting promoted from the Championship or getting another place higher in the league. You get more money for going one place higher than you would for winning that League Cup. So,
or for staying in the Championship. I mean,
yeah,
you get fucking peanuts for going into League One. That's
exactly. You know, if you get promoted like Wolves, Fulham, and Cardiff, they're guaranteed a payday. They are guaranteed a payday. Even if they get relegated, all three of them this season, the balloon payments they get are worth more than doing a cup run in the League Cup. You know, and it pisses me off slightly because, like, the old traditions of the cups, like I said, the FA Cup was a massive thing. It used to start at 8 a.m. on BBC, and it'd be a whole all day long thing. You'd watch the coaches, the helicopter would follow the coaches. You'd watch the players walking around the pitch in their suits and that. Like, now it's just like, oh yeah, we'll start an hour before kickoff, and we'll just do a couple of interviews with players, and that'll be it.
For me, I like the build-up of those FA Cup finals, you know, where especially when Arsenal are in them, and you get to see a little bit about their history. Then you get like really in-depth kind of build-ups around their players. You see the players in the suit, and you think, okay, this is a big occasion. Today's a really big occasion. And you get your boys round, you get some around.
Exactly. Like, mate, back in the day, yeah, it was like a whole family thing, man.
Yeah.
Like, but like, do you remember the Spice Boys at Liverpool? Do you remember that when they were walking around in their like white suits on the pitch? Do you remember that, like McManaman and Redknapp and all that, like Fowler? Oh, like they were called the Spice Boys, weren't they? All the pretty boys and that, yeah. And like walking around in their proper ivory white suits and that, yeah. Like little things like that. People of the following generation from me and you, they don't see any of that unless they watch it like on ESPN Classics or some shit, yeah. Right, but I don't know, man. Like the FA Cup's a fucking proper trophy to me, and like if you're in it, you fucking try and win it. That's how I look at it. Same with the League Cup.
Okay, I mean, I'll be very.
Sorry, I was just going outside for a fag, and it's like I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's a drone or a helicopter. Yeah?
Police after you. I know. I get it.
It's a helicopter, man. They've rumbled me, mate. Like, do you know what I mean?
All right. I mean, let me get to the kind of meat and potatoes of this video. So Lee knows that I've got a couple of issues with a couple of people that said some shit over the last, say, 12 hours. So initially I did my match ratings video, which is a new feature of mine where I've just started to do match ratings. Now, normally I do that, I drop that the day after the game, but because I knew the review was coming belatedly, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna just do this and then explain my match ratings in this video with you. Didn't think it was gonna cause an issue because I felt like, just like when anyone does match ratings, it's their fucking opinion. I just watched DT's match ratings, right? Now, I must admit, there are a couple of fucking marks. I'm like, hey, how the hell did you see that in that player? I didn't call him names. I didn't call him emotional. I didn't say any of those fucking things that were said to me for my opinion, right? So I gave my match ratings and people took exception with what I put, right? One of them is a notorious troll on my comment section called Matt Hales, right? And he has this habit of whenever I comment on Mkhitaryan having a poor performance, he'll take exception of that. One of the things he said was, oh, well, has Mkhitaryan slept with your girl or something? Because it seems like you're always going after Mkhitaryan. What? Motherfucker, what are you talking about? Right? And then I thought to myself, you know what? This guy's just a troll. This is what he does. Move. Right?
Why do you even read the comments, man?
That's what, bro, honestly, because I like to interact, because I generally, 90% of my comments are people who are cool, they're interacting, and I invite people to put their own mark. I'm not going to call them a dickhead. I'm not going to say they're emotional. I'm not going to say anything of the sort for their opinion, right? And then a friend of the show, Colin, puts a comment on my thing. Now, initially, I hadn't seen anything about the tweet of this, right? And he put a comment, very respectful, he was just like, you know what? you're harsh on Mustafi, blah, blah, blah. I said, there's no way Mustafi had a good game. Laughed, left it as that, didn't think anything of it. Went to sleep, woke up, and then somebody went to me, why is Colin talking shit? On my, someone just randomly tweeted me. I won't say who that person is. Someone tweeted me. Didn't see anything. Didn't see Colin say anything. And then Tops, big shout out to Tops, tagged me on a particular tweet trail. Don't think he was meaning to cause trouble, but probably didn't want to be accused of talking about me without knowing, without me seeing it first, right? And then he tagged me to this trail, and Colin said on something on the lines of, well, I just watched Chig's review, and you know, I think he gets a little bit emotional. It clouds his judgment about Mustafi. Now, me and you don't agree about Mustafi. Me and you have had this conversation over WhatsApp. You think Mustafi played okay. I think he played shit.
I think Mustafi's been all right all 3 games.
But I know you're also not going to go on Twitter and be like, fucking hell, man, that chick, he's getting a bit emotional about fucking Mustafi. He's doing this, he's doing that. Colin also made something which I feel was also a jab at me, because I also criticised Hector Bellerin and I criticised Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka was another one me and you don't agree with, right? Not once have I ever seen you say, fucking hell, that chick, he's being a bit emotional about Granit Xhaka. It is my fucking opinion. I didn't realise that even friends of the show are going to call me out on my opinion. I invite you to put your marks out of 10 in the comments. Like, I don't understand that. I don't even understand that. And I know he's in the chat room and he's probably saying some stuff at the moment trying to defend himself. I'm not interested. The way I see it is this. For me, if I put a match rating, you don't need to call me names. You don't need to say anything. Put your own shit in the comment section or don't say nothing at all. I've never in my life decided, you know what, this person is a dickhead because they marked, I don't know, Alex Iwobi 3 out of 10. Never in my life have I thought that. I don't understand that mentality. I don't get that mentality. Fucking hell, bro. Oh, my days. Sorry, I'm not.
Breathe.
Now I'm getting emotional. Fucking hell. Now I'm getting emotional.
Breathe. Right, listen, I haven't seen the conversation. I haven't seen the tweets. I'm less active on Twitter recently because I just don't give a fuck about it. It's just full of fucking, it's just full of hate. Yeah, like listen, like whether you're pro Arsenal, pro certain players, whatever. Right, as soon as you put an opinion out there, I had somebody today. I see a tweet today. I won't say who tweeted it. Right, but I see a tweet today about Hector Bellerin and about why he's getting so much stick. And that person put he played really well yesterday. I was at the game. Hector Bellerin, along with Aubameyang, were probably the worst 2 players on the pitch. But because Hector Bellerin got 2 assists, it's all masked over. The previous week, Mkhitaryan against Chelsea, probably the worst player on the pitch, other than Xhaka, who got subbed at half-time against Chelsea. Yep. But because he scored the goal that got us back in it, and because he set Alex Iwobi up, all's forgotten.
Exactly.
And this shit is what has clouded the judgment of fucking thousands of people for a long, long time on Mesut Ozil. Plays shit for the whole game, but because you did 1 pass that set up a goal, all's forgiven. Exactly. Like look at our pre-season, right? Against Chelsea in Dublin. Everyone was knocking one out about Ozil's pass to Reece Nelson. Not one person was whacking one out about Reece Nelson's cross, which, by the way, was one of the best crosses you'll fucking see this season. And Alexander Lacazette's finish, which everyone thought just hit him. No, he actually fucking meant that. But it was all about the pass before the fucking assist because it's Mesut fucking Ozil, right? Exactly. And the way I judge players, right? I'm not like I said to Robbie yesterday, right? He was talking about he mentioned 3 times to me. He goes, yeah, but Bellerin got 2 assists. And I was like, right. And I was like, are you his agent? Yeah, he was like proper defending him. right? And fair play to him. That's his opinion. He thought he played well. I didn't. There was 2 instances, and I'll come on to the first half in a minute, but there was 2 instances in the second half where we've lost the ball and he is jogging back. He is jogging, right? Literally jogging. I think Felipe Anderson was breaking away, and boy, trust me, I've never really rated that geezer, yeah? Right? He fucking rips us apart yesterday. Really? And I never realised he was as quick as he actually fucking is. Like, I've seen him in the flesh now, mate. That geezer is fucking lightning quick. I would not be surprised if he was the quickest player in the Premier League. That geezer is rapid, right? But Bellerin was jogging. And I'm like standing there going, like, what's he doing? Like, why is he jogging? 2 minutes later, the same shit happens again, right? So I stand there, and the North Bank's a little bit quiet at this stage, and I'm like, our fucking right back is jogging back. What is he fucking doing? And I'm getting people going, well said, mate. Well said, mate. Yeah? Because let's be real, he's a fucking right back. His job is to defend. So if we've lost the ball due to a sloppy pass from him, or where he's so far up the pitch, he's squared it to Xhaka, to Mickey, whoever, Lacazette, but then that breaks down. Your job, and we all remember this geezer, when we played Chelsea in the 3-0, I think it was. Do you remember he was 20 metres behind fucking Pedro? Yeah. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Pedro, who's not lightning.
Yeah. What has happened to Hector Bellerin's pace? Because when we played Chelsea last week, Pedro fucking skinned him enough times. What has happened to Bellerin's pace? Right, and I'm not going to go on a massive rant about Bellerin because everyone knows my thoughts on him, right? I've said a million times, and I'll say it one more time. Take that geezer's pace away, he'll be League One standard, right? Now I'll come on to the first half. Mikel Antonio skinned Hector Bellerin, not with skill, not with anything fancy.
Good pace!
Literally, skinned him down the left, and then chopped inside. Just a simple chop inside. Look at their goal, right? Their goal was reminiscent of Sterling's goal against Man City. So many players around, but we've let him come. We've let him come back inside. We've not put a tackle in or wiped him out or defended a one-on-one situation properly. So we've allowed them to cut back inside. We've not closed the man down quickly, and Arnautovic has pinged it in. Czech could have done better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say, I never realised how fucking much of a lump Arnautovic was until I see him 10 foot in front of me.
Bullying Mustafi, by the way. He was bullying him.
Mate, that geezer, I played FIFA today, yeah? And I thought, I'm going to check Arnautovic's stats, like, for height and that, yeah? The geezer's 6'4". Who knew that? Right? Yeah. But, like, when you see him in front of you and he's, like, 10 foot away, it's like, oh, my God, this geezer is a fucking tank. Yeah. And he was harassing us yesterday. Yeah. But Hector Bellerin, for me, right, there's only 2 ways this geezer can play in our team, in our starting 11, right? We either go with a 3 at the back, 3 centre-backs, and he plays as a wing-back.
Wing-back, yeah.
Right? Or he plays where Mkhitaryan was playing.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because although I don't think Mkhitaryan helped him out, which is also why I went in on him, because I think Mkhitaryan's had
both of them jogging, mate.
4 seasons so far. But
sorry to cut you off. That is why I was shocked when we subbed Iwobi in the first half, because I actually thought Iwobi was our best player in the first half.
Yes! Yeah? Oh my gosh!
Right? But he subbed him and left Mkhitaryan on. And if you go back to last week against Chelsea, he also subbed Iwobi then. And I thought, again, Iwobi was our best player and Mickey was one of the worst. But he left Mkhitaryan on. And down that side where Iwobi and Monreal were none of the attacks in both games. Everyone was targeting Bellerin and Mkhitaryan because that is where the weakness is, because neither of them get back. Chelsea's, what goal was it? Man City's second goal.
Man City's second, yeah.
Yeah, Man City's second. Yeah. Mkhitaryan was jogging. Bellerin got back. Fair play to him, he got back, right? But Mkhitaryan was jogging. And this all harps on to the balance in the team. You can't play with Ramsey, Ozil, and Mkhitaryan in that midfield. You can't play with all 3 of them because you're playing with 3 number 10s, essentially. Because although Ramsey plays in a deeper role, essentially he is a number 10. So he will always get sucked in and go forward, but he will never really want to do the defensive side of it. Mickey and Ozil, Man City's second goal, were both jogging. Right now, in terms of Bellerin overall, like I said, the only way I think he can get in that team is play where Mickey is. But then would he score the goals that Mickey will score over the course of a season? Who knows? But without completely slagging him off, one thing I will say is that his crossing this season has got a whole lot better.
Yes,
and
I agree.
I watched him in the build-up, right?
Yeah.
They were doing the warm-up with our number 2. I can't remember his name. What's his name? Emery's number 2. Oh. I can't remember his name.
With who's number 2?
Emery's number 2. What's his name? Fucking Carl, whatever his fucking name is.
Can't remember his name.
Right? Well, anyway, he was joining in the patterns of play, in the build-up, in the warm-up before kickoff, right? And he's pinging it out, one touch, right? Bellerin's getting up in line with the 6-yard box on the right wing and whipping it straight back to the penalty spot. Every time. First time, whip it straight back. So they're doing this build-up, patterns of play, build up, bang, whips it straight back first time. You watch Hector Bellerin in a game, the only couple of times he put a first-time ball in, first one we scored with Monreal after Fabianski parried it. That was the first time cross.
It's Juan Carlos, by the way. He's number 2.
That's it. Yeah, that's the man. Yeah. The first time cross he put in ended up in us equalising. But then the second half, not once did he put a first-time cross in. Every time he touched the ball, stopped, went back, or then touched the ball, went forward, and then was it Masuaku? Yeah, blocked it.
Yeah.
They're left back. I think it's Masuaku, right?
Yeah.
And then what that does is that confuses your striker, Welbeck, Lacazette, Aubameyang, whoever it is, because they all make their run expecting the first time whipped ball. But then if he does take a touch, they've made their run and then he passes it and it does go through their player, that player's offside. If he doesn't whip it in straight away, takes a touch, comes back, the striker's now got to drop back and find more space. So then your striker doesn't know whether to go off the shoulder of the centre-back and make the run across the box, across to the front stick, because he doesn't know whether the right-back is going to fucking whip a ball in. And it's so frustrating. Like, listen, I'm not his biggest fan, yeah? Anybody who knows me and has seen my tweets and my videos, whatever, right, knows I don't rate Hector Bellerin. I'm not going to mug him completely off. I do think he played shit yesterday. Defensively, he is atrocious. His positioning is a joke. His one-on-ones are a joke defensively. Yeah. And going forward, I think he is a lot better.
Yeah.
Mkhitaryan didn't help him.
But he is a defender first.
Exactly.
And this is what I tell people. You know, when they list Hector Bellerin's name, he ain't a fucking midfielder. He is a defender. And even if he is a midfielder, I'd expect him to track back and help his fucking defensive partner out.
And that's the thing. When we lose the ball, when we played Chelsea and he did that dash and caught Pedro up, I want to see that every time we lose the ball and you're high up the pitch. Not just from him, but from Monreal as well. Right? And fair play to Monreal, because the amount of goals that geezer has scored in the last 18 months to get us back in a game, or to put us in the lead in a game, how he did not win Player of the Season last season is a piss take. He was our best player. Not Ramsey, he was our best player.
100% agree.
At the same time, when Iwobi plays, Iwobi does the defensive side of it. And this season, Iwobi has bulked up, mate. That geezer has put some size on this season.
I know.
And like, I just look at it, and I'm not going to solely blame Bellerin, because, like I said to Robbie yesterday, I think Mkhitaryan has played shit in all 3 games.
Yeah, me too.
He shirked the defensive side. His passing's been atrocious. And let's be real, he ain't really done anything other than that goal against Chelsea and then setting up Iwobi, right? But he doesn't help Hector Bellerin, whereas Iwobi helps Monreal. And that's why nobody targets that side, because they get no joy. They target the other side. So I'm hoping that Emery sees that and says, right, well, hang on a minute. We need to change something. We either need to bring our fullbacks slightly further back and tell them not to get further forward, or we need to tell Mkhitaryan to do his fucking job properly, defensively, or he gets dropped.
Mm. And people, let me make myself clear, because I see a lot of people, funny enough, just tweeted me and saying, "Oh yeah, you know, fuck Colin, this, that, and the other." I don't want this to be a
Colin's sound,
against Colin, but I had a big exception with the way he was attempting to call me out secretly behind my back, which I was like, "What? Hold up, what the fuck?"
Listen, at the end of the day, right? I've had a similar sort of thing with a mate of mine, yeah. And I text them, and I said to him, "Listen, it's all well and good, because I'm in a group chat with these people, right?" And I said, "It's all well and good bantering in the group and mugging each other off in the group. Don't air it publicly."
And
That's the only thing I'll say. Like, listen, I like Colin. I think Colin's sound, but
there you go.
Maybe you should have just privately messaged him.
I wanted him to, even if he had a problem with what I said, for him to have DM me and just been like, "You know what, bro, you're a bit emotional about Mustafi." I could have handled that if that was a one-to-one thing. But don't be talking to Tops behind my back and then have people tweet me, or like, "Why is Colin talking shit about you?" I'm like, hold up, Colin's my boy. He's just comment. Are you talking about the comment on YouTube? And it was only when I saw the damn stream, I was like, I literally laughed, and my girl was looking at me like, you know, well, what's wrong? And I just said, my boy is just talking shit about me, like I'm not going to see this fucking stream. And that was where I had a problem. But that doesn't mean to say that I'm going to stop bashing Colin and saying, "Oh, fuck."
Nah, Colin's all right, man. Listen, everyone's entitled to an opinion, bro.
I don't advocate that, please, people. I appreciate the support. I don't want you supporting me like that. You know, Colin is still cool. I have no issues with him as outside of this point. So just to make myself clear, I want to just clarify that, just real quick. Yeah, that was all I wanted to say, because for me, and I've said this time and time again, I set up this channel because I'm sick of, you know, annoying various people who ain't all that interested about my rants about Arsenal. I like airing and venting my frustrations with Arsenal, and I do. And I have frustrations with the team that Emery puts out. That also doesn't mean that I'm going to start calling for Emery's fucking head. Not at all. The man is coming into the job, and it's a lot. I completely agreed with Claude when he said in his interview on Arsenal Fan TV, it was like, sorry, AFTV. AFTV.
That's fake news, by the way. It's fake news.
But he said, that, there's a lot of mess that this man has to come in and sort out. One of those things is Ozil and his comfort level. So to be honest, when I saw the story that him and Ozil had a buster, I laughed and I said, good. Someone to unsettle this motherfucker. Good. Playtime is fucking over. So
if you look at it, Chris, right? Ramsey got dropped. He got substituted against Man City, and then he got dropped for Chelsea. He never spat his dummy out. Even though there's a contract negotiations going on, he just sat there and went, "Oh, cool, I'll sit on the bench." So if it is true that he was being dropped and he's kicked off, cool. I rate him for actually fighting and saying, "No, I want to fucking start." I'm totally behind him. Listen, I don't rate Ozil. We all know that. But if he's standing there screaming and shouting, saying, "I want to fucking play, I want to play," that shows he actually gives a fuck, right? On the flip side, you got to suck it up sometimes and do what Ramsey did and go, "Cool, I'm a squad player." Look at Lacazette, right? I see an interview today that somebody tweeted from Arsenal media, and it was Lacazette, and he was going, "Listen, Aubameyang's my boy." Yeah. He goes, "Danny Welbeck, Iwobi, whoever I play with." He goes, "If I have to sit on the bench, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, do you know what? This geezer. And I quote tweeted the tweet. I can't remember who it was that tweeted it. And I was like, proper realistic interview, because they were saying to him, and it was an Arsenal club official talking to him. And they said, what's your thoughts for the season? What do you think we can achieve? He goes, "Well, obviously we want to win the league, but we know that's going to be difficult. But obviously the fans want us to get Champions League again. It's been a long time now. And if we can win a trophy, then it's been a good season." And he was talking about his rivalry. He was talking about they was sort of making out a rivalry between him and Aubameyang. Yeah. And he was like, "Listen, he ain't my rival. He's my teammate."
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how Ozil's got to look at it. And that's how every player in the squad's got to look at it. If you're getting dropped for whatever reason, suck it up. Yeah. Unless it's in your contract, you're starting every fucking game. Suck it up. Take one for the benefit of the club moving forward.
But do you know what? That is a huge contrast to an interview I watched with Hector Bellerin and Lichtsteiner, where they did this kind of one-to-one thing.
I see it. Yeah, I see it.
And Bellerin was like, obviously I'm here to be the starting right back. Do you think it will? I think it's something along the lines of, how do you feel about that? What's your rivalry? And Lichtsteiner did exactly what you just described in Lacazette. He was just like, well, you're not my rival.
You're my teammate.
You're my teammate. We're here to work together. So if there's something that I can do to help you, or vice versa, like fucking Lichtsteiner needs Bellerin's help. But anyway, something
maybe on fashion.
Just the sort of, that's what I was saying. Maybe with fashion, Zoolander. But this is the thing. That's what you expect teammates to do. Not none of this ego shit. Just a team.
At the same time, unless you were in that building when that kicked off, we don't know what the actual reason why it kicked off happened. Even if it did actually kick off, we don't even know if it actually kicked off. We're only reading like bits and pieces here and there. So he could genuinely be ill, but at the same time, he might have actually had a bust up, and that might be maybe because the club have said we're going to sell you. Yeah. We're transfer listing you. The transfer window in Europe's open. Maybe Emery said, I don't want him. Who knows? And maybe he's gone, bollocks, I want to stay here. And they've gone, fuck off, we've accepted a bid. Who knows, right? Listen, let's be real. The Turkish clubs will take him. Inter Milan and AC Milan will take him, and they've got the money to do it. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, because personally I don't think it will. But at the same time, it could also be that he doesn't like something that Emery's doing in training and says, no, I actually don't want to do that. It could be that he was being dropped. It could be that he was being completely left out of the squad. It could be a complete load of bollocks and he is genuinely ill. We don't know. So we're all speculating. But at the same time, Unai Emery's come in here. He's inherited a fuckload of fucking shit. Let's be real, right? And if anyone expects this shit to end after 3 games, mate, wake up. This is going to be up and down, topsy-turvy all season. We're gonna lose away to fucking teams like fucking Wolves, right? We're going to win away to fucking Man United. We're going to lose to fucking Brighton. And it's going to be up and down all season. But then guess what? Next season, he outs another 5-6 players he don't fucking want and gets in a 5 or 6 that he fucking wants that are buy into his philosophy. And then the following transfer windows, he'll do the same again, and that's when we challenge. So, listen, like, we got to look at it and go, if you look at the back 4 that we played yesterday, 3 of that back 4 are Wenger signings. Or Bellerin was here from youth, but under Arsene's, like, fucking leadership here, right? Yeah. Socrates, a lot of people have said to me that Socrates has been bang average, he's been this and that. I actually think he's been all right. And I actually think also...
I think he has been okay. He's not done anything dramatic. I feel like what I like about Socrates, out of him and Mustafi, he's easily the better reader of the game. That much. And it turns out actually isn't that slow if you believe this.
Yeah, I'd love to see what distance that's over. As Stel's that's probably 5 foot. Right? But what that shows to me, like, listen, anyone who's played FIFA knows Socrates ain't slow, man. Yeah, the geezer's got like fucking 80 fucking acceleration on FIFA, bruv. Yeah, that's quite quick. Right? But one thing I'll say, right, is since Socrates has come into that side, I think he's actually chilled out fucking Mustafi a little bit. And I haven't been sat there thinking or looking at Mustafi doing stupid shit. I know he didn't play great yesterday. Right? I didn't think he played great yesterday. But overall in the 3 games, them two as a partnership, I ain't got no issue with that. They're not the issue, right? The issue for me, and Monreal, for me, like, he's the most consistent performer at Arsenal and has been for a long time.
Has been for about 3 years, to be fair.
Exactly. He's probably been our most consistent 7, 8 out of 10 every week for 3 years, like you said. For me, what I would say is that I think Emery has got his starting lineups wrong on all 3 games.
Me too.
Right? Yeah. But what he has done is quickly realised that and realised, oh, fuck, I fucked up here. Let me sub Xhaka at half-time against Chelsea. Let me sub Iwobi, although I do think that was the wrong decision. But ultimately, it worked out to be the right decision because Lacazette set up the second goal, which was an own goal. So you can look at that and go, well, that was a fucking good substitution. But every time he's made a decision in terms of substitutions, it's made us better.
Yeah,
whereas years gone by, our subs have made us worse or stayed the same. Yeah. I mean, yesterday, Guendouzi, he was out of his depth. And it was one game too far. And I said that to DT when I stood with him yesterday. I said, I don't think he should have started today. I said, he's been absolutely amazing against the last two champions. I said, but he's a young boy. He's put in the distance. He's done the most distance in terms of fucking work rate and running. Bring him out. Yeah, make him go, well, fucking hang on. I've got to work again to get back in. He didn't, but then he subbed him. Right?
Yeah. And that's why it would be the complete wrong decision if he starts against Cardiff, because you need to show him, you need to, especially him being young, you need to show him that, all right, yeah, shit performance. Now you need to work hard to get back.
But this is what I said on here before about Iwobi, and we've both said this, right? With Iwobi, I think we've said it with Kenny as well before, yeah? Iwobi came in, he burst on the scene, scored against Everton, fucking lit up the team, and we were all like, wow, this geezer's going to be sick, yeah? Right? But then he was played in 1, 2, 3, 4 games too far.
Yeah.
Right? He then gets dropped, and then he only comes on as a sub. Right? Whereas with Guendouzi, I think Emery sussed it. It's his signing, Mislintat's signing, but it was they've both agreed, right? And Raul, they've all agreed, yeah, we'll bring him. And let's be real, he played great against City and Chelsea.
Yeah.
He started him. Emery realised that was a mistake because he played shit.
Yeah.
Right? But he was quick enough and sharp enough to go, do you know what? I've made a mistake here. I'm going to take him off, get him out the limelight, and I'm going to put so-and-so on. Right? And that is what I like. Last two games, he's made a sub at half-time.
And that's
the last
the
time we've seen that.
And that's the thing. I'd rather have a manager who realises he's made a mistake and actively tries to fix it than a manager who persists
and hopes it changes, and then you can see the fucking second.
With more games that motherfucker will get better than never ever do, and then before you know it, we're chasing fucking teams above us. At least he's reacted. He knew he had to win yesterday. He did by making changes that made it.
Do you know what I liked as well? I like the fact he threw Welbeck on there.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too,
and I'm not Welbeck's biggest fan, as you all know, right?
Yeah.
I praised him after the game. I said, I'm pleased for Welbeck, and I'm glad he took that goal. Let's be real. It was a good finish, man. The way he spun that geezer and pinged it in, Bellerin with a good pass. He nuts the fucking geezer with the pass. And that's what I was saying about Bellerin earlier. His crossing's got better. His decision-making's got better because he hung on a little bit, and then he went, right, bang, now I can pass it to Welbeck. And Welbeck, fair play, great finish. And if we can keep him on it, listen, we can bring Welbeck on in the second half of games, and we all know he's going to run like the fucking wind and chase everything.
He made an instant impact when he came on, to be honest.
He stretches teams. That's what he does. He stretches teams. And he makes them think twice because he can run off the shoulder. He'll run the channels. And all of a sudden, the defence dropped 5-10 yards back. Your midfield pushes up a little bit, and all of a sudden, but then, again, at the same time, you're also susceptible to a long ball over the press, which is the easiest way to get past a press, is long ball.
Yeah.
And, mate, let's be real, mate, they were fucking giving me kittens in that last 5 minutes. But you know what? Just one last thing I'll say about Socrates, yeah? One thing I rated with this geezer yesterday, right? They got a free kick right near the end of that game. And that motherfucker picked the ball up and run off with the ball. He was like, yeah, fuck off, bruv. You ain't taking no free kick. I'm keeping the ball. We haven't had a shit-house prick like that for fucking years, mate. Yeah? He's just like, yeah, what? You ain't getting the ball off me. And it longed it out, and everyone got back, and everyone's in position getting their man marked up. Yeah? And we've needed a player like that for a fucking long time. The last time we had a player like that, I don't know. I can't even remember. Yeah, I can't remember, but I like that, man. I rate that, and I think he's done well, and I think, like I said, I think he's made Mustafi look a lot better, And I ain't worried about them. It's what's in front of them that's the issue. It's the midfield. And then, like I said, I think he's got his starting 11 wrong in all three. And I think Torreira needs to start alongside maybe Xhaka. Just to see, because when he came on, and I said this to you earlier, and we don't agree on this, yeah? I thought Xhaka was man of the match.
I definitely disagree, but I don't think he was bad. He definitely improved in the second half.
Who do you think was man of the match?
Honestly, you might disagree with this. Actually,
you're going to say Lacazette, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought as soon as he came on, he made an instant difference, because I know people will say, "Oh, you're saying this because you picked Lacazette to outscore Aubameyang." No, I actually felt like he did things that Aubameyang hasn't really in the first three. If we're being honest, hasn't in the first 3 games. He made their defenders' life really, really difficult. And I noticed he did that also, I think it was against City when he came on as well. And it was just making people's life difficult in just his presence and the way he can. Because he's also starting to bulk up, if you notice.
Right, I said this to you last season, right? For such a small guy, that geezer's strength is unreal. And if you look at our second goal, which was the own goal from Issa Diop, I actually thought it was Aubameyang. I didn't even realise until about an hour after the game that it was actually an own goal. Yeah, and I was stood right behind it. I was literally like 10 foot away. I thought it was Aubameyang, bruv. Right? But if you look at the strength where he's held that off, and then, mate, last season we played Stoke City. I think, was it Stoke City? I think it was Stoke City. And he's in the box, and he's got 2 or 3 players around him, and like they're big, tall lumps, and he's holding them off, and then he's whipped the ball across and we scored. Right? His strength is fucking phenomenal for such a small guy. And that's why I think we should go with both of them, because Aubameyang's as skinny as me. He's as tall and skinny as me. He's like 10 stone dripping wet. Yeah? But he's got the pace, and they'll feed off each other. But at the same time, if you play Aubameyang left wing, he ain't tracking back, which exposes Monreal. And Emery's already said he ain't going to do that. He's going to go with a 1. And Lacazette's obviously sucked it in and gone, well, cool, I'll be a sub. Right? But for me, and I said this yesterday, against teams outside of the top 6, you've got to play them both. Whether that's a 4-1-2-1-2, whether that's a 4-4-2, whether that's a 3-5-2, you've got to play them both. But at the same time, that means you've got to drop one of Mickey, Ozil, or Ramsey and play with 2 DMs.
Yeah. And for me, I think you've hit the nail on the head with what you just said, because I think if you do that and play Lacazette on the left, you're going to have to ask someone like a Xhaka to, and we know he's not very good at doing that side of things, to do a defensive job, because I think he's going to need the person on the left, i.e. a Monreal or Kolasinac or whoever plays there, is going to need that help. Like, I dread to think Kolasinac playing there, because Kolasinac is another one who, I'll be honest, I'm not seeing how he got into this Bundesliga best 11. I'm not seeing it, because defensively, he's poor. Going forward is very, very good. He's a big lump, and he can bully people on that left-hand side. And I know people wonder, why the fuck am I talking about Kolasinac is not even playing? But I guess one thing I realized yesterday, and this is why I don't think Iwobi gets enough credit, because the one thing I noticed Iwobi's added to his game, Iwobi didn't used to be good at that defensive shit. But over the last few months, has started to incorporate that into his game. He tracks back, and because, like you say, he's a big lump himself these days, he's now this imposing figure. And that's why Monreal, I think, played so well. I think Iwobi was key to that. And then obviously, as we started to chase the game, it allowed Monreal to then come out the back a little bit more and contribute to the attacking play. I feel you're absolutely right in the sense that Emery has already said that he doesn't really ever see himself playing 2 up front. Rightly or wrongly, we can debate that all day long. But you can see his logic. And at least I can see, I love the fact that for once, I'm talking about a manager and I can see his logic. I
You can see
it.
his vision. You can see what he's trying to do, innit?
Yeah, he's thinking about a defensive part of the game. When did we ever think we talk about a manager of Arsenal?
The problem we've got is a lot of people, whether you were Wenger in or Wenger out, a lot of people thought that you're just going to turn the tap and it's going to be fixed.
Yeah.
And they're expecting instant fucking change.
Yeah.
Anyone who's realistic, like me, like you, knows that this is going to take at least one season to change. Because you can't get out. And Emery's not stupid. Right? This guy's managed the most expensive footballer in the world, Neymar. He's managed Cavani. Big egos, man. Like Matuidi, like Rabiot, you know, fucking Verratti. He's managed some big Mbappe. You know, big players, yeah? This guy's not stupid, right? But what you can't do, which is what West Ham and Fulham are probably looking at, because West Ham have lost all 3 of their games so far. You can't just go, bang, let's throw 10 new players into the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's throw them into the squad. You can't change it like that, especially if you're Arsenal and you're on that higher level and you're trying to strive the next step back into the Champions League. You cannot get rid of 7 or 8 players and bring 7 or 8 new ones in one window and expect it to work just like that. So you've got to work with what you've got. But deep down in Emery's head, he knows that players ain't good enough. He knows there's... listen, we can all debate on what players he fucking rates or not. Personally, I don't think he rates Ozil. And I had this conversation earlier with somebody, and Graham, shout out Graham as well, one of the most underrated fucking viewed people on AFTV. That guy is a nice guy as well, genuinely nice guy, yeah. But
I've got to get him on the show. He's so knowledgeable. I've got to get him on.
And I watched his interview, and he was saying that nowadays nobody really plays with a conventional like number 10. They play with a striker and they play with quick wingers in a 4-3-3 essentially. But when you lose the ball, it's a 4-5-1 because your wingers drop right back. Yeah. So there's no floating free role for a Mesut Ozil type player at a number 10 because that's your striker. Then you've got your wingers, Sane, Mahrez, Sane, Sterling, whoever it is at Man City. Yes, they've got a David Silva, but they can afford to have a David Silva in that team because they've got so many fucking great players around him. And they're the only team that are in a league of their own, really. Let's be real. If you look at Liverpool, Liverpool play with a 4-3-3. They haven't really got an Ozil number 10, really. You know, they've got Firmino who plays as a false 9 more than anything.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Salah and they've got Mane. Right?
Yeah.
The days of a number 10 are dying out because it's all about pace down the wing, top striker up front, 2 solid holders, bang, 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 with fucking like whatever, yeah, or fucking 1 holder, 2 ball playing midfielders that are defensive minded, like a number 8, like a Ramsey or somebody like that.
Yeah,
so and a Xhaka. So you've got your Torreira, you've got your Ramsey and Xhaka, and then you've got your 3 pacey fuckers up front. And if you and if anyone wants to go and watch his interview, trust me, you'll fucking learn a load. Yeah, that geezer is sound, right? And he was saying that if you want to do a whole team press, a proper team press, you can't afford a bystander. And some of the players in our team are not fully buying into that proper press. They're half-heartedly going into the press, so they're not intense. Remember watching Liverpool against Man City, Champions League, yeah? Watch that game back again. Both games, in fact. Liverpool pressed the shit out of them. Their front 3 were fucking everywhere. Their number 8, their Ramsey position, Henderson, was fucking everywhere. And I don't rate him. That game against Man City, mate, at Anfield, he was fucking man of the match. He was fucking brilliant, right? Yeah. But then the 3 in front of him were key to that because they were tracking everything. Look at our front 3 when we play with Aubameyang, Mickey, and Ozil. Can you compare that to their front 3?
You're absolutely spot on in what you're saying. When you think about it, does Man City really have a number 10? People might say David Silva.
Silva's not really a number 10, is he?
He's not really a number 10. He's more of an attacking central midfielder, but not like
he's more of an Iniesta.
Yeah.
He's an Iniesta. Like not a deep player, but he's sort of like left to right, centre, up and back, but he goes a certain distance, knows not to go too far, and comes back.
Yeah,
but he covers a certain distance.
Agreed. Yeah, I because here's the thing. Because I think if you could teach Mkhitaryan to defend, and it's a big if, I think potentially he could play that role. Because I've always said, as he gets older, I think his pace will diminish. So you need him to almost play that. I'll tell you what, Santi could have played that role.
I'll tell you one person that we're all overlooking here, right? Reece Nelson.
Okay. I think he's a winner, though.
Reece Nelson, like, as a number 10 I'm talking about, and I know I've just totally contradicted what I said, but if you're going to play with a number 10 like Ozil, and you're going to play him out on the left wing or the right wing, why not play Reece Nelson? Yeah, Reece Nelson in pre-season was fucking unbelievable. He scores, he sets up goals, he tracks back. Yeah, he'll feel it in his fucking heart. He'll wear that badge with pride. He'll give fucking 110%. Yeah, and he whacks up under 23s for fun, mate. So why not give him a chance? But the problem we've got is that we've got too many players that are number 10. Ozil, Mickey, Ramsey, Nelson, Iwobi. There's 5. They're all number 10s. So then when you do play with a number 10 and then you shoehorn any of the other 4 in, they're not playing in a natural position. So then you're asking them to do something that throughout their whole career from age 5 years old up to when they've got in the first team, it's not natural to them. So you're asking, same with Petr Cech. Petr Cech's fucking as old as me. You're asking that guy to learn a new trick. Yeah. And he nearly scored an own goal off of the back of it the other day. So it's not easy. And people have got to look at that and go, well, there's a reason that we're not playing fantastic. It's because the manager's come in, he's inherited, I'd say, an average squad. There's good players. The way our fan base go on is like fucking everyone's world class. But let's be real. We've not got a world class player at our football club. We ain't. Aubameyang, potentially. Ozil, no. Anyone else? No chance. Right? So he's inherited a squad full of good players that have underperformed. He's then added to that and he's trying to implement what he wants to do, which is the complete flip side of what Wenger wanted him to do. So then when it comes on top, like at Chelsea for half an hour in that first half, all of a sudden they flip the switch and go back to what they were used to because it's natural to them. Oh, we're able for 4 or 5 years. I've done that. So fuck it. We're 1-0 down. I'll do that again. So they forget what Emery's telling them. That ain't going to fucking kick in for another 18 months. In 18 months' time, he will have a completely different starting 11 to what we've got now. He'll have a different goalkeeper, a different left back, a different right back, potentially, different midfielders, different wingers, different subs. And we will see in 18 months to 2 years' time what Emery is all about. And personally, I'm happy to wait that long. I've waited 7 years to get Wenger out. I'll wait another 2 fucking years.
I 100% agree with you. I think people expected a new manager to come in, wave a magic. I'll tell you what, I have a newfound respect for Gary Neville. Gary Neville broke it down for motherfuckers last Monday. He said that people who are expecting Emery to change things overnight, shut the fuck up. Because it's not gonna be overnight. Our whole season is a transitional season. I know people hate that word, but we are literally in a transitional season.
Exactly.
So if it takes Emery all season, Archie put it in the chat room just now. If it takes all season for Emery to know who's shit, who he can rely on, who he can't, so fucking be it. Give the man enough time to understand his team before you then say, all right, Emery, now you need to produce results.
Exactly. Like I said this to someone yesterday, right? Leno. I was watching Leno warm up before kickoff. And he's trotting along and everyone's clapping him and shouting his name, and he gave a little clap to the fans in the ground at the time before kickoff. Right? Leno, by the way, another one. You see him on TV, you don't think he's that big. Mate, trust me, that geezer's a fucking tank. He's a fucking big boy.
My boy told me yesterday he's a massive guy.
He is a fucking big lump, right? But that's another one, right? I had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and I said, right, Leno was first choice at the club he was at. First choice. He'd play every week. There was no way he's getting dropped unless he's injured, right? So now Petr Cech's number one, and where's number one, more importantly, right? Leno's come to the club on the understanding that Petr Cech is the number one goalkeeper at Arsenal Football Club. And there's obviously a plan there of you learn off of him for 6 months, a year, whatever. You play the odd League Cup game, the odd Europa League, the FA Cup, whatever. But then next season, you're the main guy. You're the main guy.
The absolute Chesney man. I agree with it too.
Exactly. But would he have come? Like this is what I was going to say, right? Would he have left where he was at if he didn't think that he was eventually going to be number one? If he that ain't worded right. Would he have left where he was at to play second fiddle to Petr Cech unless he already knew he was going to play second fiddle to Petr Cech? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So he knew what the plan was. He's obviously spoke to the manager. He knew that Petr Cech was going to be number one this season, but he's not stupid enough to go, I'm not going to sign for fucking Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. Because Petr Cech's fucking going to be number one. He knows Petr Cech's on the way out. He knows that, yes, I'll give up one season of not being the main guy, but I'm going to learn off one of the best goalkeepers we've ever seen. Yeah. And then next season, I'll be number one at one of the biggest football clubs in Europe. So they've all, I think he's bought into that. And like, some of our fans are just so impatient. Like,
so impatient. Flipping out. First game. People were like, oh, fuck this guy. Fuck this Emery guy.
Yeah. Mate, the first game was a fucking joke, right? And not the result or the performance or anything like that, but in terms of the fans, the amount of fans that when Petr Cech kicked it long instead of passing out from the back, cheered. Yeah, I'm sorry, but Emery's trying to implement a plan. He's passing out from the back. Whether you think he's got the players to do that or not is irrelevant. That's the plan. That's the plan the team have been told. They're not going to bow down to you fucking jeering every time he fucking misplaces a pass or nearly scores an own goal, right? But to mug him off when he kicks the ball out long and everyone goes, "Whee!" Mate, what's that all about? Seriously, come on, mate. Like, seriously. Look at Pep Guardiola, right? He went into Man City. He inherited Kevin De Bruyne, Aguero, Company, Joe Hart, who else did he? Fucking David Silva. He inherited all them players, right? Plus more. He then spunk £220 million and finished third. He brought a goalkeeper that couldn't save fucking anything. Every shot at him went straight in, right? And he finished third that season. The squad he inherited was better than our current squad. And then he spunk £220 million on top of that and finished third. So what do our fans expect? The following season, he goes out, replaces the shit that he didn't like. So he replaced the goalkeeper he brought that he thought was the man with a goalkeeper that's actually decent, and walks the league. You look at us against Man City, the last time I see their goalkeeper make so many fuck-ups was when they played Liverpool in the Champions League, right? And why is that? Because Liverpool pressed him and pressed their defence. So to me, the amount of mistakes he made against us, and on another day, Ozil controls that perfectly like he would normally, yeah? And it's 2-1 with fucking 10 minutes to go. He passed one out to Lacazette, he passed one out to fucking Xhaka, and that shows to me that our pressing game against Man City was fucking on point. Because the last time I've seen him make that many mistakes was when Liverpool pressed the shit out of him and Salah scored from 40 yards when he fucked up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And like, the meltdown, I just don't get it, mate. I don't get it. I don't
agree. So, all right, I guess looking forward, and as we move towards the end of the show, what would be your 1 to 11? Because I wanted to ask you this before the West Ham game, but what would be your 1 to 11 kind of going forward? And by the way, before you answer that, people, I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes for me to ask Lee any questions. I've got a couple of questions to ask Lee based on what the chat room have asked already. Mainly about what the fuck is happening with your channel, by the way. So prepare yourself for that. but Yeah. So before we move on to those questions, in terms of your 1 to 11 for Cardiff, what would that be?
Checking goal.
Okay. Not Leno.
No, I think Czech's been really good.
Me too.
Yeah, I think he's actually been one of our better players in the top 3 performers this season for us. You know, everyone just looks at his passing out and he nearly scored an own goal and blah, blah, blah. Mate, had he have not saved Snodgrass's chance yesterday, we would have been going in at half-time 2-1 down.
And the thing is, I completely agree. People want us to play Leno because we spent money on it. Fuck that. Leno has to grab his place.
I've contradicted what I've said on a previous show, but 3 games later, yeah, I'll go back on what I said on a previous show because, like, everyone was saying, oh, yeah, but we don't know what this Leno's like. We've not seen enough of him. And I said to you on here, I said, yeah, but I've seen enough of Czech to know that he's shit. Right? Right? But at the same time, he's been decent in all 3 games. I do feel that he should have done better with that shot yesterday. You see that all the way. He could have stepped over. He dived too early. He could have stepped one more step to the left and saved it. Right? But I'm not going to fault him for that. The goal against Man City, I don't think that was his fault. People were blaming Guendouzi. I thought that was Bellerin's fault for showing him back in. Guendouzi could have wiped him out. Yeah. Guendouzi could have wiped him out. But let's be real. Mahrez on a free kick 20 yards out, it'd probably end up in a goal anyway. Yeah. Right? So, but at the same time, I think Czech could have done slightly better with that goal. But these are like little decisions, like a split second to think about what you've got to do. And before you know it, bang, it's a goal.
And he saved a critical one-on-one save from Snodgrass yesterday.
He saved that. He saved a one-on-one against Aguero.
Yeah.
When Dozy air kicked it.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll definitely go with Czech. I'll definitely go with him. The saves he's made in the 3 games have kept us in games. So him in goal. I'd go with Lichtsteiner right back. The reason I'd go with Lichtsteiner right back is because I've seen enough of Bellerin, not just this season. People are going to go, oh, you've got an agenda against Bellerin. Yeah, my agenda is for him to play better. Yeah, the end of is one-on-one defending is not good enough. That's not entirely his fault. That's also to do with the fact that Mkhitaryan's been playing behind him. Yeah. Right. But at the same time, when Lichtsteiner came on against Man City at left back, Maitland-Niles was tucked in so far inside, too close to Socrates, that every time the ball went out to Mahrez, Mahrez could just run at him. And as soon as Lichtsteiner came on, he went straight out to him, rapid, clattered him, and Mahrez never got round him once and got subbed. Mm-hmm. So I'd play Lichtsteiner at right back. I'd play Mustafi and Socrates as centre back. The one thing I'll say about that partnership is they're both right-footed, which to me is a slight issue. But at the same time, I do think that Socrates is the best reader of the game we've got defensively. Yeah. And like I said earlier, he has made Mustafi look a little bit better. And some of the blocks that Socrates has put in, especially against Chelsea the other week, he done a last-ditch, like, dived in front of the ball, like John Terry style, man. Mm-hmm. It was just like, rah, we ain't seen this for years, man, since Sol Campbell was here. Like, so I'd go with him. I'd go with Monreal. Like we've said, he's been our best, most consistent player for years. Yeah. Midfield, against Cardiff, Neil Warnock team, we know it's going to be a hard battle, man. Like, physical battle. Yeah, it's going to be physical. I'd go with Torreira. I'd go with Xhaka next to him. Okay. Like I said, I know we disagree, but I thought Xhaka was our best player yesterday. Okay. So that would be the 2, like sitting and holding. But Xhaka would be a little bit further forward. Torreira just sort of marshalling the back 4, like from left to right, covering that little area in front. I'd then go with... It's a tough one. I'd go with Iwobi at number 10. Ooh, yeah, so the 2 holders, Torreira, Xhaka, I'd go with Iwobi at number 10. I'd go with Aubameyang left side, but I would tell him straight, you have got to fucking help Monreal. You have got to get back. Yeah, because if you don't, that side's going to be the target area. I'd go with... I'll go with Welbeck right side.
Okay.
I don't think Mkhitaryan's. Yeah, I don't think Mkhitaryan's done enough to start the next game. Although he scored and set up the goal, the equaliser against Chelsea, I think he has been so poor. Yes. And listen, let's be real. He has done all right since he's been at Arsenal, but this season so far, I don't think he's quite brought into the ethos of what Emery wants. Yeah. Whereas I think Welbeck, he's got the engine and he will track back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go with Lacazette up front. And then on the bench, yes, you've not got an out-and-out striker on the bench, but what you've got is midfield changes where you could change the formation, take off a Xhaka, take off an Iwobi, take off an Aubameyang, whatever, and go with a one up front, or put Welbeck up top next to Lacazette, or Aubameyang next to Lacazette or Welbeck, whatever, and then bring Mkhitaryan off the bench, bring Ramsey off the bench, Guendouzi off the bench, depending on how the game's going.
Yeah, and
I think the midfield battle is more important than the up front or defensive battle. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, you would hope. I actually don't like. I don't mind that lineup because you would hope that we would be at least one or two up front. That we might have to shore the game up anyway.
Yeah, and the thing with that lineup as well is, you know, that Iwobi at number 10 will track back deep into the centre circle and try and nick the ball. If you've got Welbeck on one side, that could help Lichtsteiner, and you know that side would be shored up, right? Because Lichtsteiner's a top right back, and then you've got the willpower, the pace, the energy, the physicality of Welbeck up and down, and then on the left side you've got Aubameyang, and we know the bromance he's got with Lacazette. They could interchange, and it could. Do you know what I mean? I think if we played that lineup, I could see a spanking Cardiff, but he ain't going to play that lineup. He's going to go with one up top, which would be Aubameyang, and he will go with fucking Ramsey in midfield with Xhaka and probably Ozil.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, all right. Well, let's come to the question side of things. But before we actually ask the chat room questions, Lee's got a question for the chat room. Lee, do you wanna throw that? Because I love this question. The chat room can get the answer to this question. So go on, Lee, the floor is yours.
All right, go on. When was the last time Arsenal won a game when Mesut Ozil started?
All right. So let's see if the chat room.
And I'm not talking about pre-season. I'm talking about a proper game.
So while the chat room have a little think about that, know it all chat room. Well, all the 165 people that are listening live right now, thank you so much for joining. Absolutely crush that like button. Crush it, destroy it. Make sure that people are aware and, you know, they've noticed this show, because I think it has been a good debate. And also, if you're listening for the first time, hit that subscribe button, please. Right, so here we've got some answers flooding in. So we've got one Highbury Soul, which, by the way, he always asks me to ask you to follow him on Twitter. I don't know why. I might as well get that out the way.
What's his answer?
Right. So he said Basel away. You got Paul Oliver Fourway, Santo AFC, all saying the last time Arsenal won 3-0 against Stoke. Stoke at home. That seems to be a popular answer. Stoke at home. Stoke last season.
The chat box are quite on it, bruv. Yeah, 1st of April, 3-0 against Stoke.
There you go.
April Fool's Day.
April
the 1st. We're nearly in September the 1st. I know he got injured for a little while, and he's probably been shopping around Sweden a couple of times and talking out Miss Turkey and, like, you know, fucking having a coffee in that little cafe he goes to. Yeah. But 1st of April was the last time we won a game that he started.
There you go.
That's mad.
You go. For all the people that love throwing an Ozil stat at us, explain that stat, please. I would love you to explain that stat.
Well, mate, you'll get pie charts sent to you and everything, bro.
You know what I mean? Presentation.
Do you know what? Can I just shout out Bradders, right? Bradders on Twitter, yeah? Strength Mental on Twitter. This motherfucker, I swear, I need to meet this guy. He's the funniest geezer on Twitter, right? I didn't see it until after the game, right? But this tweet, obviously it came out about Ozil's illness. He goes, Ozil fanboys or Mesut fanboys are frantically searching Google for medical stats on Ozil. Absolutely class, man. Yeah, fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's true, mate. I've never seen a player so defended by our fans, man. Like, so another tweet he put out as well, which is true, and only the older lot will really remember this. I don't really remember it, yeah, but I know the history and all that, yeah, and I know the club inside out, right? But everyone who knows who Charlie Nicholas is, right? He's very, very similar to Mesut Ozil in terms of he was the superstar at the club, blah, blah, blah. He was a flair player, this and that, right? But he flattered to deceive. And then when George Graham came in, he didn't fit George Graham's style of play and what he wanted him to do. So Brothers put out a tweet saying Mesut Ozil under Unai Emery is very reminiscent of Charlie Nicholas under George Graham. Yeah, when I read that tweet, I was like, you know what? That's actually spot on. Charlie Nicholas was a very good footballer, right? We'll have that right. He was a very good footballer, but so is Mesut Ozil.
Yeah.
But they didn't fit the style that the manager at the time wanted. And Ozil don't fit our style, mate.
Yeah. And Graham got rid of Charlie Nicholas like that.
Exactly.
Don't work fucking around, just got rid of him. Straight away.
Laters. Champagne Charlie. I'll never forget that little earring he had, man. A little dangly earring. Fucking hell.
Oh, man. All right, people. So questions. We literally got 5 minutes for this now. So any questions that you got coming your way, we'll answer them. So let's start off with a big one because it has been asked by a couple of people. What is going on with your channel?
Oh, mate, seriously, do you know what? I get asked this 100 times a day on Insta and Twitter, man. And I've just swerved everyone. So I apologise for ignoring everyone. I'm not ignorant. I'm not a wanker. I'm not trying to be a prick. Right, basically, my first channel's fucked, right? And there's a long story behind that. But that's fucked, right? Now, when you set up a YouTube channel, if you want adverts, which is how you get paid, as you know, Chris, and it's not a great deal of money, as anybody who runs a YouTube channel knows, right? But if you want adverts on it, if you want adverts to overlay your videos, you need to set up an AdSense account. Now, the first channel's dead and buried. Even though it's not deactivated, I just can't get back into it. For whatever reason, I can't get back into it, right? So I set up the new channel. Once you get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minutes of watch time, you can then set up AdSense on the new channel. So I've gone to set up AdSense on the new channel, thought nothing of it, typed in my name, my first name, my surname, my date of birth, my mobile number, blah, blah, blah. Channel disabled. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get an email. You can only have one YouTube channel associated with AdSense in your name. So Chris, for example, has got his associated with AdSense in his name. If he sets up a second channel for FIFA, boxing, MMA, whatever, you can't set that up in your name that you've set this one up in. I never knew that because, like you, and like any other YouTuber, we've never read the terms and conditions of AdSense. So 1,666 subscribers are all wondering where the fuck I've gone. Right? But then I tried to appeal it, and they asked for an AdSense ID on the appeal.
Okay.
Obviously, I can't sign into AdSense because it wouldn't allow me an AdSense because it's a fucking duplicate because I've got... So it's like, you just can't go nowhere and you can't call anybody. It's all email or all fucking virtual chat and all that bollocks. So, yeah, second channel's done, dead, buried, gone. So for now, I'm just chilling. But I will be back. I'm just waiting.
He has promised me. You just know he's waiting for something he can fucking rant on.
No, to be honest, I've said to you and to Robbie, Emery gets a whole season pass.
Yeah.
Right? Every player gets a new lease of life under him. So you won't hear me being negative about the manager all season.
Even though you know Ozil.
Listen, I don't like Ozil, man. I don't really like Hector Bellerin. Listen, I'll tell you a quick story, right? Everybody who's watched DT's vlog from Man City game will see that his thumbnail is him having a selfie with Ozil and Ozil taking the picture. That's the thumbnail. Yeah. Ozil took the picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Right? I stayed in the car. Yeah. I stayed in the car. Mesut Ozil was sat 5 foot in front of our car, literally sat there, couldn't go anywhere. Private area, like nobody around. He's just being told to wait before he's being let out the ground.
Yeah.
He went and got a photo with him, and fair play, that made his fucking day, because I know DT rates Ozil and he loves him. Yeah, and fair play to him, yeah? Fair play to him. Yesterday, he got Aubameyang to sign the shirt that he got given from Aubameyang in Singapore.
Mm.
Yeah, Aubameyang signed it and even wrote Alba. So he done his signature and wrote Alba on it. Yeah, and that's his thumbnail for his vlog yesterday. So Ozil's 5, 6, 7 foot in front of me, sat in his pimped up Merc. Yeah. He's jumped out, he's gone and took a selfie. His little boy, it's made his life like... And to be fair to Ozil, right? I'll say one thing here, yeah? From what I was told, because obviously I wasn't stood right next to him, but Ozil made conversation with his little boy.
Okay.
Yeah. And then he made conversation with DT and said, "Oh, is this your little boy? Oh, lovely little lad. How old is he?" And he's chatting away to him. Yeah. And it's like, right, that's made that kid's life. He's going to go back to school in the fucking September and tell everyone, "Oh my God, I met Mesut Ozil, I shook his hand." Yeah. Little things like that, a lot of footballers are fuckers for, man. And that little 20 seconds, Ozil will never remember them, ever. He'll drive out and he's forgotten. But them two will remember that for the rest of their days, yeah? And little shit like that, like the amount of footballers that pretend they're on their phone.
Yeah.
When they get off the coach and shit like that, or get out of their car, pretend they're on the phone. I remember Mikel Arteta opened his window half an inch. I went, "Do you know what? Go fuck yourself." Yeah, I told you that before, innit? Yeah. I was just like, "Do you know what? Go fuck yourself." Ramsey, Walcott, Wilshere, you know, they're all Shamak, Diaby, they're all standing there having a conversation with me. Like Walcott and Ramsey were like, "Sweet, yeah." Arteta opens his window that much. I was like, "Do you know what? Go fuck yourself." I told him straight, "Go fuck yourself." Yeah. But I was sat in the car and he was 5 foot in front of me. I could have got out the car, I could have bowled over to him and gone, "Can I have a picture, please?" And he would have gone, "Yeah, Gunners, yeah." Instead, because I'm not a fucking hypocrite, I stayed in the car because I don't fucking rate him. I slag him off constantly. I'm not going to go and take a selfie with him. That's me. Everyone can do what they want, yeah? That's me. I put that on Twitter and on my Instagram. People going, "You should have took it anyway." I ain't about that life. Yeah, I ain't gonna slag somebody off and then go, "Oh, can I have a picture?" And that is the whole reason I didn't go to Burnley at home, Wenger's last home game. I sold my ticket. I sold it to somebody who would appreciate it. Leicester away and Huddersfield away, I never went. Yeah, because I ain't a hypocrite. I've slagged him for 7 years, Wenger. I ain't gonna stand in the crowd while he's jumping in the crowd at Huddersfield going, "Oh, let's have a..." Nah, that ain't me. Everyone else can do what they want, and I respect whatever anyone wants to do. Yeah, but Ozil sat in front of me, and you know what? I don't even fucking regret it. And I'll do it again. Hector Bellerin was in front of me as well. Yeah, he was in some fucking... What car was he in? Oh, what's the fucking car, man? I can't remember. It was some off-key car, man. It's like all the rage right now. Some of them have got the doors that go up sideways. Just like, oh, what's it fucking called, man? Can't remember. Well, anyway, I thought it was a bird because he had his hair down, innit? So I was like, "Who's that in that car?" Yeah. Turns out it was Hector Bellerin. Yeah, I can't remember what the car's called now, man. But yeah, like, I ain't a hypocrite, man. And yeah, in terms of my channel, that's what's happening. But I will return. I'm just waiting. I'll be honest with you. My Instagram's like my main focus right now. Yeah. Not really too fussed about Twitter.
Oh, the link is in the description below, by the way, people.
Big up yourself. I'm not really too fussed about my Twitter. That'll grow anyway. I ain't really too bothered with that. I rarely use it anymore. But my Instagram, I love Instagram. It's like a memory book, like for the games I go to and stuff like that. And like, it's, the stories. Like, I didn't realize this till the other day. The stories actually archive. So like I thought I'd lost the stories like that I've not saved as memories, but they actually archived. So I've got every story. So I've got all the pictures that I've not saved as memories, archived. But until I get my Insta up to 10K, which is when you can use the swipe up feature to link a video, I'm staying low key. When that gets to 10K, and I'm nearly on 5.5K, when that gets to 10K, I'll set up a new channel and I'll come back with a bang.
There you go. Gunna bang too. That's what's happening.
I might call it Gunna bang banging. Yeah. every time I do a video or every time I'm on an AFTV, I go through the comments sometimes. Yeah. There's this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he always puts Gunna bang banging. Yeah. I might actually just call the channel that.
I like it though. I like it. It's got a nice little ring to it.
It's all right, isn't it?
All right, let's go with a couple. We've only got a couple of questions.
I'm on 10% battery as well, so we're gonna have to be rapid, man.
Yeah, no problem. So there's a question from Luca Quarta. He's asked us.
Nice lad as well. Nice.
Yeah, good guy. Definitely a good guy. He's been real respectful in the chat room as well. Basically asked, have we been to London Colney? Because he realizes it's only 40 minutes away from him. I have twice. And it was a nice experience. I marked out like a little girl. So yeah, I really I enjoyed it. How about yourself?
I've been to London Colney a million times before, and I'm just trying to find it. I can't get in my fucking wardrobe for some reason. I've actually got from the season we went Invincible. I don't know why I can't get in my fucking wardrobe. It's jammed. But the season we went Invincible, I've actually got a signed shirt from pretty much all of the squad of the Invincible season.
Yeah.
Right. But what they did, the security, they used to let you into the training ground so you could watch them. They stopped doing that. But if you go to the Sainsbury's petrol station,
right,
which is like literally just around the corner,
all
the players, when they finish training, go and fill their cars up. So that's how I got all the signatures. I've got like Henri, Vieira, Pires, Segan, Freddie Ljungberg, Torre, Sol Campbell, Laura. I've got everyone on that shirt, man. The only ones I haven't got.
You could sell that.
No, I'll never sell it, man. The only ones I haven't got on that shirt are Arsene Wenger and David Dean. And if I had that on that shirt, mate. Seriously. But yeah, like they don't let you there anymore, man. Like the security, like they tell the players not to stop. But when they come out of the training, like where it is it's like a row of cottages, and then in the middle of the cottages is like a driveway that goes like through to behind the cottages, and that's where the training ground is. But when they're coming out past the cottages, it's onto a busy main road, so they have to stop, and that's when you go bang. Yeah,
what time do they actually train? Because I've been there a couple of times and I've never actually seen them train.
I'll be honest, I haven't been for a long time, but I think they do a morning session, which is like 10, 11 in the morning. Then they go through till like maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. Then they get an hour and a half, and then they go back at 3 o'clock. Because they're doing double sessions at the minute. So they'll go through at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, whatever, and they'll go through till 6, 6:30, and then they'll go home. But
right. One more question, and then we're out of here. Just because if I don't ask this question, he's going to keep spamming the chat room. And that's Mr. Highbury AFC Soul. He asks, who would make the best assistant manager? DT, Bradders, or someone called Darren?
I don't know who Darren is. I know loads of Darrens.
No idea who Darren is either.
Oh God, that's a fucking tough question, man.
So DT or Bradders?
DT is actually very knowledgeable, man. Right, and listen, that guy. Right, I don't care what anybody says. Right, people say that he's this and he's that. Right, I've met his old man enough times. Yeah, 1940 odd was his first ever fucking game. His dad. Yeah, that guy has forgotten more about Arsenal than most of us know. Yeah. So I'd say DT, man. I'd say DT, and that's not just because he's my boy, but he is so clued up on this club, like so clued up. Like some of the shit he comes out with, I'm just like, wow, I never knew that. Yeah, no, I learn something like every time I like speak to him and that, man. So yeah, I love Bradders though. I don't know who Darren is, but I love Bradders.
I don't know who Darren is. But all right, people, well, that's it from us.
Do one more question, quick, man. I've got 8% battery. Do one more.
Yeah, 8% when they go out and start. All right, people.
Yeah, man.
Fill out the questions. In the meantime, let me do the plugs while we got one last question. So, obviously, you guys know what's happening with Lee's channel, but his Twitter and his Instagram are below. My Twitter is also below in the description.
You need to set Insta up.
I need to set it. I will do. People keep going at me, so I will definitely.
You're doing it after this. As soon as you come off of this, you're setting it up.
You know what? Fuck it. I will do that.
Do it, man. I'll shout you out.
So obviously, if you're listening to this live, give me an hour or so. Let me actually look into this Insta thing, and then I'll set it up. And then that link will be in the description below if you're watching that in the playback. One more question, people. Come on, let's go out with a bang. A good question. A good question. If I don't see a question, apologies. Let's see.
Football related, obviously. Nothing about, oh, why are you a nonce? Why are you this?
Are you both going to the Legends match? If so, who are you most looking forward to seeing? And that's from Mr. Arsenal, or AKA Ryan Fletcher. Shout out to
nice lad as well, man. Nice lad. I don't know what you've just done to your camera, Chris, but yeah, cool. There's that baby wipes over there, bruv, and salt. Seriously, sort your camera out, man. I'm not going to the Legends match. And the reason why I'm not going to the Legends match, Chris, your camera's fucked, bruv. 7-Up. I'm looking at 7-Up and salt and ketchup.
Ignore it.
I'm not going to the Legends match. The reason I'm not going to the Legends match is because I went to the one in Real Madrid. Yeah, so I'm just like, yeah, cool. I've seen that, done that, been there, won the t-shirt, whatever. See Raul score a fucking unbelievable goal from a Roberto Carlos cross. See Pires nearly score a fucking screamer of a free kick. And see Sol Campbell limp off after about fucking 3 minutes with a torn hamstring. But yeah, I'm not going, man. So good luck to anyone who's going. Enjoy it. One thing I will say, Nigel Winterburn is still a fucking baller. That geezer has got an engine, man. That geezer's sick. So enjoy it.
All right, people. Well, that's it from us. Like I say, absolutely crush that like button. Apologies for looking at my 7-Up free can and my hairy legs. Apologies for that. Basically, we're out of here, man. Thank you so much. We were only supposed to do 2 hours. Sorry, an hour we were supposed to do. Ended up doing 2. Thank you so much for that. People, enjoy your bank holiday. I'll be back during the week doing a preview for Cardiff and probably doing the review after that game and doing a player rating, and hopefully I won't anger people with that one. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, people, we're out of here. Take care.
Emery the fucking.
There you go. Peace.